This is the Real Change Wilmington Podcast, episode 62, the volunteers behind PAWS Humane Society, with our guests today, Debbie Duquette and Sarah Armstrong.
Think about it before you get a dog. A dog is a family member. They are not cattle. They're not property. Dogs are companion animals. They're den animals. They are intended to be in a den or in some protective area. Anything that we domesticate, I think we are responsible to take care of.
What is going on, everyone? This is your host of the Real Change Wilmington Podcast, Dustin Pierce. Real Change is a positive, constructive, and lighthearted source of local news, events, and resources. In our podcast, we interview leaders of local organizations to help squash rumors and encourage a greater sense of pride in our community. We have a great episode for you today with our guests, Debbie Duquette and Sarah Armstrong, both who are volunteers at PAWS Humane Society. If you're like me and don't have any dogs or cats personally, you probably passed PAWS on 68 by RNL many times, but have never been inside. They are also an all-volunteer organization, so unless you have an appointment, you are not going to be able to just walk in. So it was a very interesting podcast for me to learn just what goes on inside the building that I drive past all the time. Also, Debbie and Sarah were very fun to talk with and definitely put the human in humane society. I will say this podcast is a bit long, which is typical when we have multiple guests on our podcast, because we do like to know more than just about the organization, but about the people behind the organization as well, what their background is, what their hobbies are, and what are some defining moments of their life. Because we think that this helps us fulfill our mission. When we know the people behind organizations, it helps us feel more connected to our community and proud to call this place home. So maybe you won't get a chance to personally talk to Debbie or Sarah, but hopefully after this podcast, you feel like you know them a bit better. We do joke around a lot on this podcast while weaving in information about PAWS. I also learned a lot about the different breeds of dogs and cats. I did mention to Debbie and Sarah on the podcast that I don't have a dog or cat, but I have chickens. And when I mentioned that, they both latched on to that the rest of the podcast and proceeded to make fun of me. So again, this is a bit longer podcast, but it's full of information about all the great work that PAWS and other humane societies do in our community. So without further ado, let's bring in Debbie and Sarah and get this podcast started. Debbie Duquette and Sarah Armstrong, welcome to the podcast. Debbie and Sarah are board members of PAWS Humane Society. And before we get into the organization, we'd like to start by getting to know you two as people. So why don't you guys just tell us where you're from and how you got to Wilmington?
I'll go first. I arrived in Wilmington in 2000, the year 2000. I'm originally from Northwest Ohio, Defiance. When I was 18, I married my high school sweetheart, and we moved to California and spent the next 15 years there. Then an opportunity came for him to join the staff at the National Weather Service, so we moved back.
Nice.
And we've been here ever since. Love it.
That's awesome. Sarah, how did you get to Wilmington?
Well, I don't have a fun, exciting story like that. I was born and raised here. So I've been here essentially my whole life. I have a son that's 23. He's out of the house. So that's a little bit sad, but that's okay. Good for him. Good for him.
Nice. So we usually ask if you're married, do you have kids, and what do they do? So you kind of answered a little bit of that. Debbie, you are married to your high school sweetheart. You have kids?
Yes. We've been married 40 years this year.
Congratulations.
And thank you. It's a miracle.
Long time.
2 grown children, 5 grandchildren. And that's my hobbies between the shelter and my grandchildren and my full-time job at the Weather Service. I mean, it is a very full life.
What do you do at the Weather Service?
I am in administration. I am not a meteorologist, so please don't blame the rain on me.
Don't ask her about the snow coming up this week. Don't.
Oh, you can ask, but it will happen. It will happen on Thursday. You can take that to the bank.
Yeah. But she's not a meteorologist, so don't go after her.
Yeah. But, it's kind of sometimes when people come to the community and they want to see things, they see the big Doppler radar soccer ball in the sky there. And so they come out and want a tour, and we try to accommodate people as best we can. But yeah, it's a nice little town, and we've raised our family here, and we really enjoy being here.
And then, Sarah, you mentioned some of this. You have kids, and they're out of the house. What do they do?
Yeah. So I have one. I was an only child. He's an only child. It's just kind of, we have a small family. But he has a full-time job with Pepsi. So he's doing pretty well. Lives on his own, has a dog. He sends me pictures of all the time. She's real cute.
What do you do for work full time?
So I'm a director at Toward Independence in Xenia.
Okay.
We serve adults with developmental disabilities. So I'm over the day program and also the transportation. So
How did you get
3 counties.
into that?
It's kind of a crazy story, but I've only been there about 1.5 years after I switched careers after 10 years. So it's a whole new world to me that I am absolutely in love with. Best decision I ever made was to switch careers. But I've been in nonprofit for the last 15 years. So
One of my uncles was born with mental disabilities, so I know that whole world kind of a little bit, and it's very important work.
Oh my gosh. Well, they capture your heart, and you're just, I couldn't imagine doing anything else. And I've only been there 1.5 years. So yeah, it's great. It's very rewarding. And if you're having a bad day, you go down to my day program and they will cheer you up.
Nice. Yes. So what are your hobbies outside of work and volunteering at the shelter?
Oh gosh, is there anything else?
I haven't found time for anything, actually.
I mean, you have grandkids, so that's nice. I don't have grandkids. I mean, I have animals of my own. I have 2 dogs. I like to do as much as I can with them.
What kind of dogs?
One is a golden chow mix, and his health is declining. So he can't really go on walks much anymore. So he's kind of a couch potato. My other one, she's a little like shepherd mix, which she's 9. So she's not really young, but she acts like a puppy still. So there's a balance there. You know, I want her to get exercise, but he can't really do much anymore. So we go for a lot of car rides more so than walks these days. And then we go get pup cups.
Pup cups?
Pup cups.
Was that Pepsi's?
No. Well, I don't know. I'm guessing they probably have one too, but we usually go to Dairy Queen.
Oh, okay.
It's literally just vanilla ice cream. Or if you go to like Starbucks, it's whipped cream.
Really?
Yeah, it's pup cup.
Do they charge you for that? Or
They sure do. Of course they do.
I don't know if it was like to get you in the door if your dogs, you know, then
Of course.
Okay.
It's like $1.29.
Wow. You really love your dogs. That's awesome.
Starbucks charge for?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Because
of whipped cream.
Yeah, Dairy Queen did the fundraisers. They do fundraisers for the pup cups, and so
Okay.
I mean, they had a really great one for us. Over $600 they raised for.
Wow.
Yeah, 80 cents for each pup cup went to us.
That's awesome.
And it was over $600.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I know.
People love their dogs.
They do.
Yes,
and they love ice cream and they love their dogs. It worked out in our benefit. But so my hobbies are basically just animals all the way around. I like nature, so I like to get out and walk. I like to say I do 5Ks because I don't run them.
Yeah.
I might jog here and there in between, but I don't run them. I'm not all serious about it. But I love them because a lot of them are at parks or just around towns. So I enjoy those and being outside. And
you get like a free T-shirt usually.
you get a T-shirt. I mean, it's not free because you do have to register.
Yeah. Sure.
But yes, I do like T-shirts. I do. We've talked about those a lot.
Oh, okay.
Like anytime there's a chance to like get a PAWS T-shirt made, I'm like, yeah, we should definitely do that. Volunteers love T-shirts. It's a thing.
And pizza probably too.
Just food in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. They like to show their team spirit themselves as often as we can. We do appreciation dinners for them. Pizza, tin cap, try to give a T-shirt and anything else we can.
Yeah.
Like Tin Cap really supports dogs. With
Cappy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And when we were there for our event, there was a group there that were from the Roberts Center. They had come for a dog show. It was a race, actually. So we got to sit and break bread with the fastest bulldog in the country. Like number 1 and number 4.
Here's the thing. I couldn't make it to the volunteer event at Tin Cap, but the next day I was like, did anybody take any pictures? Debbie's like, I got pictures of the dogs that were there. Okay, well, what about our volunteers? Nothing.
Sorry.
Nobody took any pictures. That's okay. We love dogs.
Those were some hard to find looking dogs too. Little bullies, little underbites. Oh. So precious.
I would love to get a bulldog, I think, like especially the indoor
They're cute.
dog. If I had an indoor dog, it'd be a bulldog, I think.
Well, and they have special needs.
Okay.
And sometimes they're high maintenance. But if
Okay.
you get one that's a mixed breed, you're better off because they're not going to have as many of the breathing issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Good
if
to
you're
know.
not doing anything Saturday, we're having an event next door at D&G's Paws and Claws. Peach's Bully Rescue is going to be there with 3 little Frenchie bulldog mixes.
Oh, really?
Yes. And,
I'm going to get one.
okay, there you go.
Oh, no.
At least meet
Dustin.
them. At least meet them. See
Oh,
what you're
yeah.
looking for and share them as much as you can.
Uh-huh.
But then also Clinton County has a little one that she's kind of a Frenchie mix. Sage. We met her at
she's so cute.
Yes, we met her at Pictures with Santa at Pets Place Plus where we were at this weekend.
Yeah.
Lovely little lady.
She is
Dapple.
adorable.
So she's got all different colors
The
on her
spots.
coat. So cute. And yeah, if you give us
Oh,
your
man.
email, we'll make sure you get
Okay.
pictures.
And we will have a few of our dogs there
Yes,
too, but
we
we don't
will.
have little ones, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
ours are a little bit bigger. No bullies, but they are
Okay.
precious. Peaches, she gets a lot of bulldog rescues and French bully rescues. And the thing is with breeding bulldogs, the breathing issues that they have because of their smashed faces. They can't think of the word for it, but brachiophylaxis or something, but it's where they have that shortened airway. So
Yeah.
sometimes they will do surgery to help that. But my first grandson was a bulldog and he couldn't be out in the heat for very long. I mean, anything over 65 degrees, 70, and they just melt.
They are
The
cute.
cooler weather.
They're
God,
very
they're
cute.
You're cute. It's kind of like the bully version of like a chihuahua. You know, like you could carry a little chihuahua in your purse and go to Starbucks. It's like the acceptable bully version, I feel like.
Like a Frenchie.
Like
Like
a
a
Fre- yeah,
Frenchie
yeah,
would
yeah.
be, yeah.
I mean, you get like a squint, like, I don't think that's true.
I'm trying to think of how you're going to carry it,
I
but
don't
Oh,
know.
well, yeah, when they quit walking, which is usually about 10 minutes into the walk,
yeah.
they will drop.
Oh my
And
God.
there they are, just dead weight, and they're not going to move.
Yeah.
So you
So
either
you
have to have a wagon or you
Yeah.
have to be
Oh
able
my
to
God.
haul them up over your shoulder.
Little backpack or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, they are full of the world. That's, you really
But we're
want
not talking you out of it. You should definitely adopt, whether it's a bulldog, a Frenchie, a pit bull, any and all.
I kind of
Need
want an
it.
Australian Shepherd at some point too.
That's what my son has.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, they're really pretty.
She's really cool too.
Yeah.
She had to go through some training.
Okay.
High energy.
Yes, very high energy, but they're very smart too. So she is a very fast learner and she listens really well now. So
That's good.
she's beautiful though. Her eyes look a little crazy because they're like that real light blue.
Yeah.
So it always looks like she's like
Looking into your soul.
yeah, a little bit. But she's beautiful. Yeah,
We've gotten on some tangents.
we
This is-
sure
See,
have.
that's us. I'm sorry. We do
We're
that.
gonna have fun. Okay.
You have
I did.
dogs.
All right. So Debbie has no hobbies because she has tons of kids, apparently.
I have 5 grandchildren. They keep me hopping, and the dogs. I mean, I'm less than a mile from the shelter, so
Unfortunately, Debbie gets the calls
Yeah.
of
hey, I got locked out.
yeah. or-
Somebody broke through the fence.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. One of the
Yeah.
dogs or a person?
What
Either
did
or.
dog? Yeah. Oh golly, we've had some stories about people showing up too. So,
Not breaking in,
no,
Yeah,
but just
but showing up.
showing up for
you know.
various reasons. And,
Yeah.
and people drop dogs
Yes.
and cats off.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to,
Sure.
and they do. So
I was going to ask that later on in the podcast about, because it just seems like it's really confusing in Clinton County of where to take dogs and the hours are all weird. But yeah, I remember one time a pit bull got loose in my yard and was like chasing my chickens around. And I didn't know where to take. It was like a really friendly dog, but I had to like call the sheriff, and then I didn't know what
That's
to
good.
do. So
That's okay.
good.
That's
Yeah,
I got to
that's
play
what
with
you're
her for a
supposed
night,
to
which
do.
was fun. Yeah.
Oh, did you keep him for a night?
Aw.
Good for you.
A lot of people don't seem to realize that that's what you do. When you find a dog,
Okay.
you call the sheriff or you call the dog warden. If you call the sheriff, they're going to call the dog warden.
Yeah.
And he will come out and get the dog. And then they keep them for a 3-day stray hold.
And that's the law. That's
Mhm.
just how it goes.
That gives the owner time to
Mhm.
reclaim them. And then if no owner comes forward, then the dog is offered to one of the Clinton County shelters to take in. So that's kind of how we end up with the majority of our dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They just get out and they're strays.
Yeah, sometimes it may be the second or third time they've gotten loose. And after a while, I mean, they do have to charge a fee for a dog at large
Mm-hmm.
based on the, city ordinance or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, it's meant to be a deterrent to keep your dog under control.
For sure.
On a leash or in a, fence. And it happens sometimes. It happens. But, he doesn't want to take the dogs away. He wants you to be a conscientious dog owner. And in some cases, we have gotten dogs that were better off having been picked up by the dog warden and then being released to a shelter, getting vetted, getting fed, getting care, and then ending up in a forever home. So it's not always a bad thing.
Sure.
But I would like to dispel the myth that when you have a dog, you bring it home. Oh, I just don't have time for this dog. I think I'm going to rehome it or take it to the shelter. I'm going to tell you right now, do not do that because that, in many cases, is a death sentence. The shelters are crowded, overwhelmed, every single shelter. So you are literally putting that dog's life in someone else's hands. There is no guarantee it will be rehomed. And it may have been the most wonderful dog when you had it, but when it gets in the shelter, it loses its mind because it is in there with other dogs. And the stress, they can mentally decline so quickly.
Yeah.
So think about it before you get a dog. A dog is a family member. They are not cattle. They're not property. They're companions with feelings.
Feelings, yes.
And I think a big part of it is education. And like where I grew up, Northwest Ohio, lots of farms, rural. We were rural, non-farm. Dogs either, 5 acres and they run free, or if they don't run free, most of them are tied up somewhere for their entire life. They have, maybe an 8x8 area where they're on a chain and they just walk around all the time. They have an outdoor dog house that's probably not very well insulated in the wintertime. And most of the time, they don't go to the vet because if they're not sick, we don't take our dogs to the vet. We don't invest the money. And dogs are companion animals. They're den animals. They are intended to be in a den or in some protective area. They're not meant to be wild and free. That's not a dog's life. Wolves were that way, but the domesticated dog came from the wolf, and it's because that wolf was a friendly wolf. That wolf wanted to cuddle with you. That wolf wanted to be your pal and live in your den. So that's anything that we domesticate, I think we are responsible to take care of. So to expect that a dog is happy living their life outdoors with no vet care, no companionship, that is just so outdated. And I get it. Some people have farm dogs, and I love that. But bring your dog in.
Yeah.
Let your dog come in and lay by the fire with you. They don't belong just out in some, little 3x3.
Get them spayed and neutered. And vaccinated.
Absolutely. Yeah, puppies are cute, but if you don't have any place for them to go, they could end up dead on the side of the road because some people dump puppies. They could end up dead because they ended up in a kill shelter.
Mm-hmm.
They could end up dead because they got parvo because they were not vaccinated. And there is no such thing as a free. People say, oh, yeah, I got this puppy for free. Well, I took 2. They were free. Dogs are never free.
Or cats.
Or cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I speak to the dogs because they're, that's my jam. But I do love cats. But yeah, specifically.
And the cat population right now.
Yeah.
Exploding.
Because, people don't spay and neuter, and then it gets out of hand, and it is out of hand.
And they go in, they can have several litters per year.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Starting at 4 months old.
And as many cats are there out there, that's how many cats they can produce. depending on how about town they get, So multiple cat fathers. So
Yeah, it's bad.
I remember at city council probably over a year ago, Sam Eisen, who works at the city, was trying to get some kind of program
The TNR.
funding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't get funded from the city, though, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But she was trying to address the cat population specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had meetings, and that's something that it needs to be addressed.
Sure.
It needs to be addressed. And so far, we haven't found the right vehicle. But in the meantime, we have several groups that offer trap, spay, release programs, TNR for short.
Yeah.
And, I will have to say, I give props to the property owners in Wilmington who have come to, our Rascal unit. It's a mobile spay and neuter clinic. They have trapped the cats on their property and brought them in to be spayed or neutered. And then they will release them back. Some probably are fails and they end up being house cats. Oh, well, too bad, But
No, but that's what the community needs to do. There's us and other organizations out there that will loan you a trap And there's Orchard Vet does what's their Wilmington Area Humane Society, but they do the spay and neuter clinic there. Like, there's all kinds of places that do things like that.
Yeah, every county has some program of some sort.
So it's just huge for the community to actually start doing. It shouldn't be up to the dog warden and the county shelters. You know,
I didn't know you could even do that. So you're saying you can just trap a cat and then bring it to the...
Yeah, there's a humane trap that you can get.
So don't use like a regular trap, use a different trap?
I don't know what a regular trap is.
Like you would get it like a Tractor Supply Co., like a raccoon trap. Like, I don't know.
Oh, that's a live trap.
Yeah.
A live trap, yeah.
Not
That's
a bear
something
trap.
with their legs.
I know, that's what I was
break its legs. No, I don't mean
What do we
that.
do?
No. No.
Yes, you just put the food in there, and then when they go in, it closes.
Mm-hmm.
We have one gentleman in particular that has brought, I don't know, at least maybe 8 cats to a couple different of our rescue units and gotten them spayed and neutered, and then he releases them back onto his property because they're not, I mean, they do help with mice and that kind of thing if that's what you want to do, but just that alone so they don't keep on. So if everybody would help do a little bit of that.
So I'm probably like more ignorant than you guys. I mean, I'm definitely more ignorant than you guys, but when I was at city council and Sam was explaining this like program that she wanted to have, because I was of the mind just like hold the people who are producing these cats accountable to stop doing it. But she was saying that there's a certain level of cat population that's okay, and if you just take them all out, there's gonna be new cats that come in. So that's why she was encouraging the program of like spaying or neutering them and putting them back, so that
taking them back in.
They're there, but they just don't reproduce, I guess.
Yeah. So they're community cats.
I guess.
And I mean, they do, like I said, they do help with mice and, with all of that. And usually when you take them to one of those, like to orchards, they will tip their ear.
Okay.
So that way, that's how you can tell the difference of what's out there. But yeah, it's out of control. It is.
And when you have certain communities, little pockets of these cat colonies, you get one that gets like feline leukemia or something like that, and it spreads through the whole community. So then you have an entire population of cats that have this, ultimately deadly disease, and it spreads. So you definitely, if you do have a cat and you want it to stay healthy, keep it indoors. Don't let it roam. And believe it or not, you can put a cat on a leash.
Yeah, you sure can.
We have seen
like
it.
a dog.
Really?
And they love it.
They love it?
Some of them do. Some of them
Well,
don't.
yeah, not all, but yeah. If it comes to being able to go outside and not go outside, they usually adjust.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
I bought a leash for my chickens on Amazon, and they do not love it. I'll tell you that. They do not.
I've never heard of it.
my chickens.
Yeah.
What were you going to do?
I was going to walk them, but they don't do that. That's not what chickens do.
They like to walk themselves. Like they
Yeah, they're not domesticated.
That's hilarious.
That's a whole other podcast there, sir.
I love
Yeah,
that.
they're weird.
I love that you tried it.
I also bought them little like Sunday morning church hats, you know?
My gosh.
And I don't love those either.
Oh my gosh. Can you
But
hold them?
you love them, don't you?
I really tried. I really tried.
Yeah, do you hold them? Like, will they
So,
let you?
some of them, yeah. There's different breeds that are more calm than others. But yeah,
And they have names, I assume.
they do not have names. There's too many for names. I have too many.
Too
I have
many.
10 chickens.
10?
Which is the legal not allowed to have in the city limits.
We won't tell.
Like, you shouldn't. It's only 10.
You know what? It
A
just
little paint dab on their legs.
I could
Nail
I
polish.
could paint their nails.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Paint their nails when you put their church hats on them.
Oh my gosh.
And then leash walk them to church.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Those like
good.
crazy chicken people. I'm a crazy chicken person with this. Yeah.
They
You
need
should
their
have a
own
t-shirt.
blog.
They do.
Oh, yeah. TikTok account.
Uh-huh. Anyways.
Anyway, yeah.
Here we go again.
We're not even into
Have
the
we even
organization.
covered
No.
anything?
So last thing
Yeah,
about you
okay.
guys. What's a defining moment of your life that's helped make you who you are or helped shape your values and personality?
Oh, my goodness.
It's real deep.
I mean, probably becoming a mom
Mm-hmm.
was a pretty defining moment.
Yeah.
That changes your life
Yes, it does.
forever.
Yes, it does.
In a good way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's definitely some teenage years that you question what you did. But no, definitely, definitely Yeah.
We recently spoke to two ladies who opened up a salon in town, and they both said the same thing, that motherhood changed their lives. And one thing, the specific things was that they were very shy people, and being a mother forced them to schedule doctor's appointments and go to their kids' schools, and it helped them
to do things.
have to be an adult themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll do that to you. Yeah. It literally makes you look at everything differently. It's hard to explain. If you're not a mother or a father, I think you don't understand it. I mean, I didn't understand it. It literally changes everything. Yeah. In a good way, for the most part.
Yeah. I have to say I agree with that 100%.
Debbie, is there a defining moment of your life that shaped your values and personality?
I would probably say that's one of them. I think when I moved from Ohio to California, I think that's huge because I'd never really been out of the state. I mean, school field trips, but
And that's a whole different state.
yes,
Yeah.
man.
Whole different world.
Yeah.
What part of California?
Southern California, Barstow, high desert area. It's the bathroom stop between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. So
The bathroom stop.
well, yeah, we're gas stations, restaurants, but there was a Marine Corps logistics base, which was where my husband was stationed, and then there was an Army base out there, Fort Irwin, not far from there. So military families mostly lived there, but yeah, it was just kind of one of the stops on the way on the major highway that went between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. So every weekend, lots of traffic through there, and so, but it was kind of nice because you could go either direction and see and do a lot of things, but the diversity being there versus, small town Ohio. I think everybody should be forced to leave their hometown, leave their state, go somewhere else and see the world, see other people, live there, experience the culture, experience, the differences. And I came back a changed person. I totally, your mind is so open to things. And I won't say that I didn't miss Ohio. I missed it terribly.
Okay.
Because I personally think it's one of the best places to be from. I'm a little partial. Love everything about Ohio, pretty much. But a lot of Ohio trivia right here. But yeah, but I think you really do need to be submerged in multicultural.
I agree with that
situations.
100%. It really does. And talking about being quiet and shy and that kind of thing, going to other places, other countries, other cultures, that really opens you up to more. I agree. Everybody should go somewhere.
Right. You've been to Haiti, right?
Yeah. Try a third world country.
Yeah.
That'll change your
Changes.
life.
Yeah, you really, we take things for granted.
Yeah.
What did you go to Haiti for?
So my previous nonprofit that I worked for, I actually helped oversee a hotel for missionaries in Haiti.
Okay.
So it required me to be there. Literally a whole different world.
Yeah. I think even if you come back, so I spent like 6 weeks in China in college.
Okay.
Thinking it was going to be great, but it was anything but great. And it definitely helped me appreciate the United States a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is huge, though. Whether it's China, California, or Haiti, that's a huge thing.
Yeah. We'll transition to the organization now. How did you guys get connected with PAWS?
So I started volunteering in, I believe, 2017. I had previously volunteered with other nonprofits and other animal welfare organizations, but then this one was closer to home. So I just kind of reached out to them when it was Wilmington Area Humane Society in 2017 and started volunteering. And then when they kind of decided to go a whole different direction, and then that's when PAWS was formed in 2019. Yeah. Rest is history. What year is this?
It's been a love story ever since. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, we're about to have our fifth anniversary this year of our inception.
That's crazy that it's been that long. We survived COVID and everything.
Yeah, that was huge.
What made you passionate about animals in specific, I guess?
Oh my gosh. I've always loved animals since I was a child. I think it started with my grandparents, my grandpa in particular. I spent a lot of time at my grandparents' house. My mom was a single mom for a while growing up. So I was on the farm with horses and goats and cows and dogs and cats. And so I've always just loved them. And then my mom's very passionate about animals too. So it's kind of been a family thing.
And Debbie, how did you get connected with PAWS?
I started donating my time, volunteering when it was PAWS, Wilmington Area Humane Society. I had a coworker that was involved and another coworker whose wife was one of the people that helped start WAS. And I just felt like since I lived so close, I mean, it was really silly for me not to help out. And God forbid they got snowed in, I could help. I could walk down there. It was far close enough. So I thought, this will be my mission. I will save these dogs and cats from starvation. So
Save the world.
So I just thought, yeah, I'll get involved. And then it was just a love affair after that. I mean, these dogs and cats, I mean, they rely on you for everything. And not on my watch. There's not going to be a time when they don't have food, water, someone to care or love for that, as long as I have a breath in my body. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's often times when there's not shift coverage. And Debbie and I will text each other like, okay, well, are you doing it tonight? If you do it tonight, I'll do it tomorrow night. Because we're not going to just not do it.
No, that is
so.
Absolutely.
If we're lacking on volunteers, which we do often,
you just got to kind of take one for the team. And, people who know me know that flexibility has to be in the equation because they know there may be an issue at the shelter. And so, yes, if I'm not there, trust me, it's because an animal needs taken to the vet or needs care.
Yeah, Debbie does a lot of the vet runs with the dogs. And then another board member, she ends up doing a lot of the vet runs for the cats. So we definitely all take on.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, it helps when you have more people to share the load. But yeah, I was always the kid that was bringing home strays and feeding the strays. And I got hollered at. Why are you feeding that stray dog? It'll keep coming around. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's what I'm.
That's
Sounds good to me. Challenge accepted.
Exactly.
We also recently interviewed the owner of Alma's Attic, which is an antique shop in town.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just moved to a new location. And I guess when they moved there was a cat that kind of just hung around.
Oh.
So it became their office cat.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And I was telling Molly that we need an office cat too. And she's like, great. Like, I'm going to kill the plants and kill the cat now.
It'll keep your mouse population down. We have a perfectly chill girl who would absolutely adore this place.
What kind of cat is
she? Is a tabby, and
but she has like swirls. She's really pretty marked, but she doesn't like other cats, so she could be the only one.
Yeah, and she's very fluffy on her belly, and she does have a sad story.
She does.
She was She imagine this: you see a cat, and it.
Wait, should I play some like Sarah McLaughlin in the background while you explain this?
Oh yeah,
okay.
In the arms of a.
Please do, actually.
So Phoebe came in my yard. So I'm sorry. She's one of mine that I brought in. But she was laying under a shrub. And I'm like, this cat looks flat. Like this. Like she was this wide. She was flat. And my husband's like, oh, dear God, I think that's what was laying under the neighbor's garage door. So one of the neighbors, when they hit their garage door, the garage door came down. Well, it caught the cat, we think. And I'm not going to name any names, so because we don't want any... But so
retaliation.
Yeah, right. Cat pressure.
Yeah.
But he thought it was something else that was in there. But it was the poor kitty, I think. So I don't know how long she had been under there. But so the poor little thing, she couldn't chase mice to eat or anything because she couldn't move her one back leg because everything had been crushed and squished and everything. So
this garage door comes down that quickly.
Well, they come down and the cat didn't know. And so the cat, was probably laying there. And then, because it wasn't
more aware of her surroundings.
Usually when you
blame
hear
the victim.
noise.
Jeez.
But she may have tried to dart in or dart out, but she got stuck. So she was this flat cat. So I fed her and she kept coming back and I gave her some water and food. Of course, there again, I caught heck for feeding this cat. I'm like, it's okay. I'm going to take care of it. I said, I'll get it to the vet and then we'll see if we can find it a home. Well, of course, we had open arms at PAWS. Oh, yes. She was fine. There was nothing. The leg wasn't broken. It was just all of her insides had been squished. And so,
squished out.
Yeah.
And one, like she had a big knot on her.
On one side.
Oh, man.
So got some weight on her, which we're very good at giving these cats.
Very good at feeding them.
They all plump up really well.
Yeah.
And so, so this kitty has been our office cat at PAWS ever since because she's not fond of other cats. Not fond of garage doors, obviously. And
Right. Right.
and yeah, and I have a feeling she probably had been a mama at some time, or was a stray, or one of the offspring of one of the kittens that, climbs under the sheds and has kittens in its neighborhoods. And
But we've had her for how long now?
he's been there over a year, probably about 2 years now.
Yeah, so you guys should definitely get. This would be perfect.
It would. She could be, really good marketing tool. And honestly, I mean, and it's an old building, maybe cat, mouse control.
Oh, sure.
And you can do an automatic feeder and water bowl.
Right.
So it's not like you've got to.
Some oil won't kill it, basically.
Yes. And she does not need a lot of attention. She'll lay down and then she'll come back out and maybe say hello, step all over your papers, whatever you're trying to do, and then go lay down. So,
yeah.
So,
and we think about that.
Yes, we cut you a real good deal. I mean,
she does like dogs too. She doesn't like cats, but she does like dogs.
Yeah, weird enough.
I think, office cats are a good marketing piece and good for customers.
It's just fun. Yeah. And, there is something about just having an animal around. It really does.
Yeah, lots of libraries have them. I mean, our library on the military base had a cat, except for the people that were allergic to cats, but everybody else was fine with it. But, you have the cat cafe. Is that the one that's in Lebanon, the cat cafe?
There are some of those, I don't know.
And they have those all over. I mean, have you ever been to cat yoga?
Right.
That's something we want to do in the spring is offer cat yoga.
Kitten yoga.
Kitten yoga, even better.
Even more cute.
Well, and honestly, you can do that while you scoop litter boxes. They will literally climb on your back, and they'll give you loveys.
Yeah, they sure will.
So there's that. And you can do that anytime you want.
Yeah. Well, come on over and scoop some litter boxes. Yeah. They will always need scooped.
Yeah. And that's just when you have people that come in and the volunteers, even if you're not volunteering to do that type of work, but just for the enrichment, the cats, I mean, they like people. And some cats are, they like to eddy out, do their own thing. But for the most part, they're very loving creatures. And,
And just the socialization, even if they aren't, like the ones that come to you, even just having someone in there, is good for the ones that are still skeptical of people.
Yeah. They'll come up, rub up on your leg, give you a look, and then you go right away. Yeah. Quietly judge you, and then you find a corner to sleep in.
Such a cat right there. You just, definition of a cat.
So you talked a little bit about PAWS history. So at one time it was a different organization and then it became PAWS. What the building was, like we said, went in a different direction. So they did not need a building to house animals. They were not going to be housing animals. Gotcha. Is WAS what organization that's on by the dog warden?
No, that's Clinton County Humane Society.
Okay, so WAS is different than that.
Yeah, WAS is, had the animals at one time. And then now I think they do spay and neuter things, but I can't speak for them. So when they vacated the building, then several Clinton County residents who were interested in keeping that building in use as a shelter got together and decided that they would form a nonprofit humane society. And we did a mission statement and we got a board together.
Incorporated. Yeah, it was very evident that there needed to be more than just the Clinton County Humane Society. I mean, they are full. We are full.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to just not, the animals were there. The building was there. So, to the group, we were like, okay, well, let's do something about this. So that's how PAWS came about. So WAS and PAWS, two totally separate organizations.
That's good. You guys got to continue it though and keep the building and stuff.
Yeah. And it's fortunate for the animals too. And that was probably the only time that building has ever been empty. Because, within minutes, I would say, we had 8 puppies. And it's not stopped. It's just not stopped.
No. Crazy.
Can you speak to what services you offer at PAWS?
We are a shelter in the sense that we will take in animals from the dog warden. We vet them, and then we provide an opportunity for adopters to come in and adopt them. And we also, that's for dogs and cats. Cats obviously don't go to the dog warden. Usually they'll be found as strays. We get calls, or the dog warden will say, hey, someone found these cats in their property or whatever. So we get lots of calls, and it's hard because our coordinator has to turn away a lot of people, but she will definitely get you in touch with resources that can help you find a place to take the unwanted litters that you find or stray cats. And I mean, it's a big problem, but we do work with the surrounding counties and their humane agents and their rescues to try to find a place for these that we can't take in.
Yeah, and even dogs and cats that we have had for, longer than anybody would want to have in a shelter. We have a good connection with several rescues and stuff that we reach out to, and vice versa.
Right. So it's a big community, and we try to network a lot with that. We currently have fosters who will foster dogs for us, especially if, they're older dogs and would not do well in a Humane Society shelter setting. We have cats, neonatal fosters for baby kittens that don't have mothers. We've even had some mama cats that nursed
other
litters that lost their mama cats.
Yeah.
And
so even the animals help volunteer then too.
They do.
Yes,
they do.
And for the most part, most of them have been very genuine about it, and they have taken the kittens right in. They didn't treat them any differently than their own litter. So
it's really cool.
It is. And Mother Nature's very cool to see in action. That one mama cat, I think she ended up with like 3 different litters. Her litter and then 2 other ones.
Yeah.
So she was pooped. That girl was pooped.
Exhausted, depleted.
But she was a very loving mama kitty. So,
but we do house, right now we currently have 14 dogs. Mm-hmm. And we have close to 80 cats.
Wow. In your building?
Yeah.
80 cats?
It's too many. Yeah. And that's, that, I don't know how old our oldest cat is at this point. Is it Sky? Is she the oldest one?
She might be.
And then obviously we have kittens. So it's a wide range of all colors and shapes and
anything you want.
Anything you want, we've got.
It's like a box of chocolates.
But it's too many. We should never be at 80 cats. I will say we have had more before.
We have.
So we're not at our worst.
Right. And they move slowly.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the dogs have been moving slowly, not just for our shelter, but for all of the shelters. And like this time of year, Blue Buffalo is sponsoring a Home for the Holidays campaign. And that's to bring awareness to the fact that shelters have dogs that are viable and available for adoption during the holidays. That's a big season when people want to bring a puppy or a pet home. The kids are off school. You have, time at home planned. And at one time, a lot of shelters weren't doing that. And so then that's when all of the storefronts that have dogs that get them from backyard breeders puppy mills. So this is to try to encourage people to reach out to your local shelters. And honestly, if you don't see what you like at that one shelter, there's another shelter up the road that's got just what you're looking for. And Pet Finder is a great resource for that. We post our animals on Pet Finder. You can go down to the breed. You can go down, select based on weight, select based on age. Are they good with cats? Are they good with children? Are they potty trained? You can put in your search parameters and you can find whatever you're looking for.
And most shelters and rescues list on Pet Finder, amongst other sites also, but Pet Finder is a good resource.
Absolutely. And if you see someone share a pet and you think that, like our page, share with your friends. That's how we get a lot of our inquiries is someone's like, oh, my friend said she saw this kind of dog at your shelter. And yet there are some breeds that just... the minute you post them, you've got 10 interested people. And then you have others that, for some reason, the black dogs don't always get a lot of attention. And I'm not sure if it's their facial features don't really show up well.
Yeah, it's hard to see their little faces in a picture.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because then when you see them in person, it's like, holy cow, you're adorable. Why has nobody called about you?
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, when you get a purebred or whatever, you're spending an insane amount of money. And you may be getting a dog that has problems that have been bred into that breed because they've been so overbred. And, hip dysplasia or, breathing problems or kidney issues, lots of different things. And you are more likely to get an overall healthy dog with a longer lifespan if you get one that's a mixed breed, an original. And
no, gee.
No,
I want to touch back on the home for the holidays thing that's going on. Like Debbie said, it is to encourage people to choose an adoption from a shelter or rescue over a pet store that may have a, backyard breeder come in or puppy mills. But you can also, so it's from October to December, which it's almost December.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But anyway, you can enter to win a year's supply of Blue Buffalo. And it also enters our organization or a different organization into winning $1,000. So that's
nice.
Kind of a huge deal. Yeah. But again, it's almost December, so you only got about a month left. So get your dog. Come get your dog and a cat.
That's right. And I mean, we're willing to entertain just about any scenario. When we, like for the dogs, we will invite you in for a meet and greet. If you have other pets in the home, we'll have you bring your other pets to make sure that they get along. Mm-hmm. We will meet you as often as you like to try to see if this is going to be something that will work for your family. Mm-hmm. We don't take anything lightly. We do check to make sure that if you have pets, that they're up to date on their vaccinations and that they've been to a vet, because we want this to be their forever home. People just say, oh, I saw this dog or whatever. No, yeah, I'm sorry. You want to come see the dog? We need to talk. We need to make sure that you are in a place where you can be able to care for a dog properly.
Or handle high energy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you'll have retired people, which, that's fine. It works for some, but others it doesn't. And they want, a husky or
big energetic dog. Yeah. And they're, not really that mobile.
The dog to be returned. Once that happens, their mental is not good. A lot of times they're already stressed about being in the kennel and stressed about their shelter life, and then they go out and then they get brought back, and it's just
it sets them right back to square one.
It's so sad, and sometimes even back more than that. It's
right.
So you guys house animals, and you also do events too, adoption events. Are those mostly at the location, or do you do them around town as well?
We do both. For adoptions, we do by appointment. So if you see a dog or a cat on Pet Finder you're interested in, you will reach out, and then an email will come to our account, and then we will get back with you, have you fill out a application for interest in the pet. And that way we can get a little more information from you, and then we'll go from there and set up a meeting. We had an adoption event at Pet Supplies Plus this last week where we had Santa, and you could bring in your dog and take pictures, and we brought some of our adoptable pets. We did an Oktoberfest in New Vienna. Brought some of our adoptables out there. We used to go to the Roberts Equestrian Center, bring some dogs out there. But yeah, we're available by appointment anytime. So if you see any dog that piques your interest, please reach out to us, and cats as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And Sunday, December 8th from 1 to 4 is our Home for the Holidays cat adoption at PAWS. So you can meet cats at that time. We do encourage, when we do have these types of events, we do encourage people to fill out an interest form prior to coming in, just so it kind of speeds up the process.
Sure, yeah.
So that's December 8th. And then a really fun one that's coming up at the end of January is called My Furry Valentine. It's great. It is great. So it used to be at the Sharonville Convention Center. It has changed this year. It's like at a sports arena complex in Hamilton. But it is cats and dogs. They literally have a whole space over here for cats, a whole space over here for dogs. Several, I don't even remember. It's probably like 200 rescues and shelters are there with adoptables. So for the last 2 or 3 years, we've only taken cats. This year, we're also going to take some dogs. So it's fun. It's a long weekend. You set up on Friday, and the event is on Saturday and Sunday. So it's long, but it's so fun. It's a lot of fun. And we've had a good amount of adoptions with the cats. So we're hoping the same for the dogs this year, next year, technically.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be in 2025.
That sounds pretty fun.
It's fun.
Giant auditorium with a bunch of adoptables.
It's great. Yeah. And there's always, it's fun because like with the cats, you adopt a cat, you get a little goodie bag. A lot of shelters make their own little goodie bags, but also My Furry Valentine, the organization that is doing it all, they give you a little goodie bag too. You walk this red carpet and get your picture taken with your new pet. It's really cute. It's fun. So I'm very excited about that one. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and this will be our first year bringing dogs, so that'll be exciting.
It's much louder in the dog area.
Is it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be prepared.
Yeah. No, it's fun. And it makes me think of, what was the big cat that we took this past year? The big black and white cat.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I can see her.
Him. We had him walking on a leash at the event. And he was like the star of the show in the cat room. He didn't get adopted that weekend, but it did bring in interest, and he has been adopted since. Sam?
I think it was. Yeah, he was huge. How much did he weigh?
Like 18 pounds or something.
Yeah, he was a chunk.
But he's this huge black and white cat, and he'd walk on this leash, and then he'd roll over and just roll out. He was literally the star of the cat room. It was funny. People were walking by like, oh my gosh, look at that cat.
Is this event for everyone, or is it just for like
anyone that wants to come?
Okay.
I think it's like $10 maybe to get in. And then Saturday, there's like an early bird thing. If you pay like, I don't know, $5 more, you can come in earlier. It's a thing.
Oh my gosh.
It's
earlier.
People
get first dibs on the hottest cats.
Yes. Yes. Isn't that crazy?
My gosh.
When they go down the catwalk.
Okay.
Leave that in.
Yeah. So it's not just for like single ladies who decide they're going to be lonely on Valentine's Day.
Terrible.
And then going forward, they're going to be cat ladies.
We
It's
see
not just for
G
that,
slip
right?
there.
Like, I can come as a normal person.
You can come as
Okay. Got it.
yeah.
There's no judging here, no judgment.
No, you'll see all walks of life at this event. It's fun.
Yeah.
I might have like a business field trip there or something.
You should.
I think you should investigate thoroughly.
For sure.
Thoroughly.
Bring your chicken leash.
I will bring my chickens, yeah.
I don't think you're allowed.
Ah,
I mean,
Just
you can
the
try
leash.
it. But...
okay, so shelter, use housing events, and then it sounds like you don't have like a clinic at your location, so you don't do any kind of spay neutering on site.
Yeah, we use Orchard Vet Clinic here in Wilmington for most of our dogs. And then Lebanon Animal Hospital is where we take our cats because we have a volunteer that works there also. So she's going back and forth so she can shuttle cats, and they work very well with us.
That is something that a lot of people think is that because some rescues or shelters do have vets on site.
Yeah.
We do not.
Okay.
So a lot of people think, we can just get things done.
Yeah.
And we have to make appointments just like everybody else and go to a vet. So it is a process.
And we have to pay them just like
it's not
else.
free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vet bills are our number one expense. Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That and then utilities for the building. But but the vet bills are, so just like everybody else, we make an appointment. Debbie will take them usually, and then we pay. So
the Lebanon, you mean whatever it's called, is that by Kroger? No, not that building.
Four Paws Animal Hospital is by Kroger. That's where I go.
It's okay.
For my personal animals, yes.
So my brother used to work there in high school, or he had an internship, whatever.
Okay.
And apparently the doctor told him to go outside and like cut down some of the trees. So he like did like landscaping work, whatever. And he came back and the doctor's like, what saw do you use? And apparently he used the saw that's used to like cut the animals' heads off to like send them
for
rabies.
Oh, dear.
And I was like, what kind of unhinged story is that? It was insane. Like he kept those saws separate, like.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Okay. Moving on.
Okay, so events, what's the Rascal unit?
That's the mobile spay and neuter clinic. It's a low cost option.
Mm-hmm.
So we host it. We host them 4 times a year now. was our third year,
Yeah.
I believe, that we've hosted.
Yeah, since 2022. That's the first year we.
So yeah, we do it 4 times a year. People sign up ahead of time to spay and neuter the animals. They can also do like a wellness visit,
Vaccines.
to get vaccines and things like that. It does cost, but it is definitely lower than if you were to go to a regular vet. It's really great.
How do you get the word out about that?
Well, we do most of our word out on social media, but the Rascal Unit themselves, if you were to Google them, you can literally go to their website and find where they're going to be for the next, I don't know, year. They have a schedule. They're mobile, so they go all over. And a lot of times ours will fill up, so we will direct people to their site to, do surrounding counties. It fills up fast.
That's a good thing, though.
It's amazing. Yes, it's great. I mean, we wish we could do more. We just don't have the space in our building to do more. But yeah, no, it's great. I mean, we spay and neuter
like 50 each time
per clinic, which is huge for a small community, for Clinton County. That's huge. So it's great. They come in the morning. They the parents, the owners, the parents drop their kids off.
Yeah. They're screaming toddlers, and we take care of them.
It's kind of like that.
It is. The dogs especially.
It's a little crazy in the morning. We kind of stagger drop-off times, but it still gets crazy in the mornings. So they'll drop them off, and then the clinic will take them in, spay, neuter them, let them kind of wake up. And as they start to wake up, they'll bring them back in to the shelter, into our cages that we have laid out to recover. So once they, start getting up and awake and alert, then we call the owners to come and pick them up. And I'm so glad that we do it.
I am too. It's very rewarding.
It's so rewarding.
And I mean, everything's expensive nowadays, but especially vet care. And there are people who will wait years to try to get their pets in, to get them fixed, because it is expensive.
Which, unfortunately, doing that
runs the risk of them, having unwanted pregnancies. So once again, spay and neuter. Bob Barker, he's gone, but we'll spread the word.
In his absence.
Spay and neuter your cats and dogs.
You probably don't even know who Bob Barker is.
Bob Barker, he was like a game show host, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
at the end of everything, he would always say, spay and neuter your pets. He was a big advocate for it.
Yep.
That's cool.
It is cool.
And I'm so glad you know who that is, so we don't have to explain.
Kind of.
Fossils that we are.
Right.
So I guess on the website, you guys have information about decompressing a rescue dog, which I was reading that where I was like, decompressing, like you like deflate them? Like, what's up with that? So what does that term mean? Why is it important? Yeah.
We're real gassy when we get it.
I'm not exactly sure where the term came from, but you just kind of have to picture yourself, your dog, you've been in stir, you've been in prison.
Yeah.
You've got all these crazy cellmates all around you. They're talking smack, they're yelling, they're doing whatever. And so you go from that environment to a home. It's quiet. It smells nice. There's so many rooms. I've never been any place this big. It's taking them from that environment and then slowly bringing them, decompressing them, letting them relax and slowly get used to the new environment. And we will give you pages and pages about that when we have you come in and talk about adopting dogs. So we'll school you on that before you even adopt, because it's so important, because that's the reason why dogs get returned so often, is they didn't give the dogs ample time to decompress in the new home.
And the right way.
Correct.
Like there's right and wrong ways. You may think, just loving on them, being in my face. And
and that stresses them more. And also if you have other animals in the home, if you have children in the home, that all goes into the process that you do for the decompression. And normally they say the first 3 days are critical with slow introductions to areas within your home. You make sure that you have a crate set up for them for their safety and for their purpose of being alone and having that time to decompress. And you want it to be not a place where they go for punishment, but a place that they can go and there's a toy, there's a soft bed, it's inviting. And then you let them spend some time in there and then you bring them back out, have some time with them, put them back in, let them know that they don't have to absorb everything all at once. And, the first 3 days, slowly, when you take them out and outside, you take them out on a leash, you introduce them to your property areas where you want them to eliminate in the yard. And you just kind of slowly introduce them to your daily routine. And then within 3 months, you're going to see more changes with them as far as, establishing routines, them having the lay of the household and the yard. You'll be introducing more rooms, one more room at a time. And then usually by 3 days, 3 weeks, and then 3 months, at the end of the 3 months, you're really going to see their true character. They're going to be more relaxed. They're going to be integrated. And it's just a very slow process.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that at the beginning.
Right. A lot of people don't.
Oh my gosh, they have them 2 days. They're like, oh, this just didn't work. It's like, well,
You're being
we know why.
impatient. It's just,
yeah.
And it's the same for cats, basically. Cats, can be kind of territorial. It's best to kind of keep them. They will also hide. That's a big one with cats. So kind of keeping them like in a bathroom for a couple days, just a small area for them to get used to the smells and things like that. And then slowly introduce them to the rest of the house is usually the best way to go about that. And that's the same that we get with the dogs and the cats. They're like, well, it's been a week and
Fluffy won't come out.
Right.
Yeah.
Give Fluffy a little more time.
Yeah, Fluffy's scared.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So they guys have resources too on how to coach people through that process, I guess.
Yeah. With every adoption, it's talked through and then also information is handed out to them.
And when they set up an appointment, they are emailed links to different websites to help with that decompression
That's
process.
how important we think it is.
Yes. And you'll get sick of hearing it. But that's okay because we want you to be sick of it and we want you to know what to expect.
Yeah.
Because, that's so critical for the success of an adoption.
The next question is just if you guys partner with the Clinton County Humane Society. It sounds like you guys talk to other humane societies
all
and
the
stuff.
Time. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yeah, we're all in it together. I mean, it's, and we'll do training at different places and we'll see, some of the rescue folks and it's a network. And Clinton County, they're in the same boat we are, trying to save as many of the dogs and cats as we can. And, with limited space, limited resources, we struggle. And we do have to reach out to rescues sometimes. And, there's a lot of different rescues out there. Some do take in more little dogs. One specializes in beagles.
Some are only special needs.
Right.
So,
ones that are either hospice cases or, have a disorder, blindness, deafness, something like that. And, some of your rescues will go to different shelters and pull the types of dogs that they adopt out and that they're used to dealing with. So that's why you're going to see big city rescues like Columbus, all full of pitties, pit mixes, because the specialized breed rescues will go in and pull those other dogs.
Because they'll be easier
to adopt. And, and we're not in it to make money. Our primary concern is finding homes and educating people to be able to keep the dogs and cats in their homes.
And we work with other shelters, even just as simple as, if we get a big donation of toys or cat litter at times, we share with Clinton County. We've shared with Warren County, Fair Regional, and they do the same. It takes a village.
It does. It really does. And other rescues, the one from up north, I can't think of it, Barely Used Pets. She got a truckload of some dog food that their dogs didn't seem to care for, but our dogs just loved. So every time she came down, she'd leave a case of dog food, and then we would send her back with stuff because they rescued horses too. So supplies for the horses that we had gotten.
Yeah.
So
just random things.
Yeah.
Yeah. We sent them with vet supplies and with a bunch of lamb chop dog toys.
Yeah.
Because we had gotten a huge donation of it, so we shared. A little trade-off.
Lamb chop, the cartoon character?
Yeah.
Like the little food.
Yeah.
The little lamb.
You got a bunch of them?
Bunch of dog toys.
Okay.
we're not picky. We're not going to turn down anything, really.
Well, the dogs love them.
Yes.
The ones that they survive.
Right.
Some just shred them so they don't get the lamb chops, but we need more durable toys for those boys and girls.
Yeah.
It's good to hear you guys work with other organizations. So it's about helping the animals. It's nice to see.
Yeah, we're all in it for that reason.
Yeah, networking is big.
What's been one of the most challenging things since you guys have started volunteering?
Volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
So I, started out as a volunteer, and then I became the volunteer coordinator and trainer. It is so hard to get and keep volunteers. I think that they think they're just going to come and walk a dog, maybe feed them, and that's it. It is work. I mean, you do get that love them because you get that bond with them for sure. And there is, playtime and all of that, but there is feeding, there is cleaning, there is scooping poop. It's not glamorous by any means. And it is hard to find and keep volunteers. A lot of the college kids will help out and it's great, but then they either graduate or go home for breaks or, things like that, which again is great. I will take them. I will take them all. And we do have several of them and they're wonderful. But yeah, it just gets there's several times a week that I am reaching out to volunteers, begging them to take a shift. So it gets very taxing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it does. It's like, I get it because, especially most of us, probably all of us, with the exception of maybe 2 people are retired. We have full-time jobs. So then to think about going and doing a 2 to 3 hour shift where you're cleaning and, doing all of that, that is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's also therapy though.
I agree.
Like Sunday night when I did that dog shift, I didn't even know how much I needed it. Like it's therapy.
It is.
But,
Well, then reality kicks me the next morning when my back hurts.
Right.
I'm like, oh, geez.
Right. When I'm exhausted because I didn't get home till midnight. But yeah, so to me, the biggest challenge is the volunteers.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Just so many animals and not enough people to care for them. So
yeah, the ones we have though are amazing. We have a good core group, and obviously they can't do it all.
Right, and some of them have 2 jobs as well, and then they still find time to volunteer
families
with us and families
and their own pets and
then and family activities and so and there's no small amount of I say nothing's too little as far as time. There's anybody can help.
Yeah.
If you have old newspapers, drop them off. We use old newspapers for, lining cat cages, paper towels. If you're going to the store and you can pick up an extra roll or they have a 2-for-1, pick up a pack and just, drop them off. If you're on your way out of town, just drop them off at the shelter, leave them at the door. We can always use things like that.
Paper towels and trash bags.
Yes.
Yes. And cat litter.
And cat litter. Going for both in cat litter.
But there's even times I have several small groups that come like on a Saturday or Sunday for a couple hours and help clean the building. So, I mean, you don't even necessarily have to do an animal shift. There's definitely some weeds to pull and some holes to fill and some furniture to dust.
Yes. And windows to wash.
Oh, so many windows to wash.
Those little cat noses get everywhere. So. And, and then we do have a separate group that does enrichment once a week, taking the dogs out, teaching them manners, engaging with them, that they get some mental stimulation as well as physical. And that's huge when you're, stuck in a kennel all day.
Yeah. What's one of the more proud moments that you guys have had since you started volunteering?
Well, I think anytime an animal's adopted is huge, obviously. So one of my stories is there was a pregnant cat that was found on the streets, like pregnant. And they brought her into the shelter. I think maybe she was there for a day or so, but she was just they were like, she's going to pop any minute. And I'm like, well, why don't I just take her to my house and foster her? She literally gave birth that next morning. Like she was waiting for somewhere comfortable, to have these babies. And she did, and they were wonderful. And I've, fostered them until they got homes. And then I still have her. I still have Bailey. She's a foster fail. She is now mine. But yeah, that's kind of a cool story that I have. And she's such a good cat. She's a little overweight, but she's such a good cat.
Figure.
I know. I hope she doesn't have a thyroid problem. But she has an appointment.
Yes. She's just big boned. She's just big boned.
But she really is a good cat. She's actually more like a dog, I think, than a cat, size-wise and and personality position. No, she's a cool cat. I'm glad it worked out because I am more of a dog person. But when I saw her, and the other part of it is she's a tabby. A lot of tabbies don't get adopted because that's just the most popular brand in the shelter is a tabby. It's like the gray with like tiger stripe. I don't know if you know what a tabby is, so this is why I'm explaining it. But anyway, there's a lot of them, and they just kind of sit there. So, and then I could see how uncomfortable she was in the little cage, and so I was like, let's just try this. And like I said, she hasn't gone anywhere since.
She knew she had you pegged.
I know, right? Yeah. So that's my little story.
That's good. How about you?
I think the most rewarding, it's kind of twofold for me when we have animals that get adopted and when we get pictures and videos and they come back and tell us how their lives are going. And we have one little dog. Every birthday, they send us gifts for the other shelter animals, and they send us a picture of him with his party hat on. And sometimes, they'll send us, and then we added another one to the mix, or they'll show us where they're at in different places. But I think
going on adventures.
Yeah. Oh, and, we went to the beach and sent us a beautiful sunset with their dog. But I think the most rewarding for me is when we have dogs with special needs, like older dogs. We took one off the street that had to have 27 teeth removed, and she had heart murmur. Her numbers were not good for kidney function and all that. And she is fit as a fiddle now. Yep. And she's with a foster, living her best life. Another little guy, a little Chihuahua, he had the same thing. He had heart issues, and he had passed out one time. Gosh, we thought we were going to lose him. And but once we got him on the heart medicine, and I don't think he had any teeth removed. But anyway, he's living with a lady and now has been adopted, but she rehabs animals.
Wildlife.
Yeah. She's a wildlife rehabber. So he lives with a bunch of bunnies, a large tortoise, another half-blind dog, 5 cats, ducks, a fox, raccoons, squirrels. But he's living his best life. Those are the ones that really make me so happy. And we had one girl who had no hair whatsoever, got her. And they take these dogs in to be euthanized. That's what happens. We get them from the vet. Either we find them as a stray or an owner has come in. I cannot take care of this dog. They want them put down.
Yeah.
But the vet will call us and say, hey, they have a lot of life left. There's nothing wrong other than, maybe they need to be on Apoquel for allergy or heart meds, arthritis medicine, whatever. So we get them healthy, and then we get them into a foster until we can find a permanent home. Currently we have 3 in foster, and I'm hoping the next 2 will be foster fails. We just had a foster fail. Yeah. Because they do. They grow on you and they become a part of your home and your family. But yeah, those are very rewarding. And we had one little guy, he's not so little, he was a Shar-Pei, came in with a mass on his leg. We found out it was cancerous. We would have gone ahead and removed the leg, and then had him adopted out, but then they noticed that he had spots on his lungs. So he was referred to a hospice rescue, and they placed him in a home. So his last months were in a home with the family. So
he was the sweetest.
He was the sweetest. And oh God, it does not get any better than that, to know that you gave a dog a home for their last days. And, there really wasn't anything we could do to save him, but we did everything we could to make him comfortable. And, so, yeah.
That's right, Debbie. Well,
I knew I was going to make you cry. I knew it was going to make me cry.
He was
Kalman. Kalman.
I didn't realize that they had a hospice situation. That sounds really neat.
Yeah. And, there are people that, I'm sorry. I'm of the mindset that if you have an animal, you keep it for life. You do not drop it somewhere to have it euthanized. You are with that dog or cat or pet of any kind. And if you don't have the means, please reach out to somebody in your community who does. Because honestly, I mean, if we find out that you have a need, we're going to help you with that. Whether or not it's a dog that we take into our facility, we're going to help you rehome a dog or cat if you have an issue with that. If you're having trouble with medicine, we're going to help you find some way you can get it affordably. We're going to help you with dog food if we can, if we have enough.
Yeah, there's
donations.
resources out there.
Yeah,
you just have to find them.
Right. And it's just, it's sad because, some people I think feel like that's their only choice is to give up on their pet. And that should never be the choice. I mean, you're their life, you're their world, and,
Okay, what's a positive question?
A positive question? I know you guys are convicting me because I was this close to getting rid of some of my chickens because they keep getting out of the cage and getting in my neighbor's yard. I'm like, God, I love you guys, but I can't take it anymore with you. But I just need I just need to build a fence bigger and take responsibility of my pets.
You shouldn't have got them if you don't have them.
I know. One got out the other day, and I was like, "That's it for you. Like, we're gonna go out to the farm, and I'm letting you go away to nature." But then I was holding it. I'm like, I can't do this. I'll suffer another day with you.
Chicken dad,
chicken chump.
I know, I'm a chump. I'm being a chump.
I mean, do they have a coop?
They have a coop, but they just like getting out and exploring,
Yeah.
They're just wild animals. I mean, yeah.
Well, there's bugs to be had out there. Bugs.
I don't blame them. Yeah, I don't blame them. But
is
your neighbor okay with that?
They haven't complained. I just get really I don't want to be a nuisance.
Yeah, I know. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't want them to call the chicken police.
I'm trying to hold out to get some more land. Yeah, okay. Chicken police.
Come knocking on your door. What's the clock?
We crack ourselves up. What the clock?
I was just trying to say that from your very emotional story, something that they can miss. So.
Thank you. That pulled us right out.
That was great.
Okay.
That makes me happy.
All right. So,
chickens.
Any rumors or stigmas that you want to address, misunderstanding the community has about shelters?
Well, I know one of it was that we have a vet on staff. I know people they wanted to make appointment or, they just think that everything should be done right there because we have a vet on staff. So that's one of the things that is not accurate.
Yeah.
And there's also several other PAWS groups, and people think that we are affiliated, but there's no other affiliation. I think that was just a good name that several people thought of. So they're all over.
It's cute.
It is cute. But we're on our own. We don't, no affiliation.
Some people think that we don't take Clinton County animals into our shelter, and we are pretty much exclusive Clinton County intake. If we get a call from another county, we will refer them to that county's humane agent. Sometimes dogs and cats don't know what county they're in. They might be a Clinton County dog, but they wander into Warren County.
Right.
They don't know.
Right.
So
they don't know when they've crossed the line.
Right. So that being said, if you do lose an animal, contact your local dog warden or animal welfare agent. And then if you don't hear back, check surrounding counties, because we've had that happen, especially, if you have a home that, borders another county, they can travel a ways.
Yeah.
So
in a short amount of time.
Oh, yeah. And if they're found near the highway, they're hitching a ride with a trucker, and they could be, in Columbus, which we've had that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and, some lose a dog, they see it in Tennessee, they bring it up here, and then it's like, well, I don't know where the owner is. Well, how's the owner going to find that dog? If you have it in Ohio, you probably should take it back to Tennessee.
Yeah. The best bet is to contact a warden. And just because someone is looking for their dog, or if someone turns one in and you contact the warden, he can arrange for all of that. So and, a lot of people think, well, why would I call him? He's just going to come and get,
Well, yeah, because he gets the bad rap as being the dog warden, the dog pound. And, it's his job is to take in the stray animals, but that's to get them home. And you, the dog owner, are the responsible party. So if your dog ends up with the dog warden, it is your fault. So man up or woman up, get your dog microchipped, get your cat microchipped. You can do that. Get your dog license.
Rabies vaccine.
Yeah, make sure they have their rabies vaccine, because that can also be an identifier if they have their rabies tag on them.
Yeah.
And Clinton County's pretty good about some of the resources, social media, like All About Clinton County. And just, I mean, we had a dog the other night was at Domino's, and we had people there to rescue that dog before the dog warden even got the call. So that's how people, the eyes and ears of the community, and that helps him. Yeah, he found his way home. He got home. He did have a sleepover with us. So he was fun.
I didn't realize that you guys were all volunteer based. So I think one of my misconceptions, I maybe stopped by the building once or twice and it's not open.
No.
But I didn't realize that like there's no staff.
Right. Yeah.
So it's
Appointment
not
only.
going to be open. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
And and some people that bothers them, they'll knock on the door. I just want to come in and look at your dogs. I just want to come in and see what you have.
Sure.
I'm like, everything's online. What we have, you can view online. And if any of them pique your interest, then come in. And then we can set up a time where you can meet each and every one of them. And I tell you, we will pull every one of them out if you want to.
Yeah.
Cat rooms, we make you go in there and kind of,
We're not pulling all 80 of them. And that's another thing too. Like, we choose to not just let people walk in. It's very stressful for the dogs to see strangers just back there, So we choose to not do that. Well, and the fact that we are all volunteers. So there's nobody at the building all the time. But yeah, so if you are interested, we will make an appointment and bring a dog up front. Like, we don't let you just go back there and stir them all up and...
Yeah. And it's just, and not knowing where you've come from. If you've been looking at other shelters, you may have stuff on your shoes that, you're tracking into our clean facility that we're trying to keep safe. And
like germs wise?
Well, or virus like parvo. Parvo is highly contagious, and that can be tracked in and out. So
I think that makes sense talking to you guys about it, but as someone who doesn't know like the shelter industry or like,
right,
I'd like this. Why is it open for? Just
and I mean, you're right. I think a lot of people,
I guess,
for me. I think a lot of people think that, I'll just stop by.
Yeah, and we do get a lot, and if we're there working or whatever, I'm not gonna send you away. I'm gonna say, have a seat. What kind of dog are you interested in? And, I'll let you come up and we'll do meet and greets. It's good for the dogs. It's good to have them come up out of that kennel area, get socialization work done to meet strangers and to show them, you do a little bit of work with them on the commands and everything, and they get to meet people. And then that way, when a potential adopter comes into that room, it's not all new to them. They've been there before. They know it's a good experience. It's fun up there. I get treats. I get to show off. I get affection, lots of belly rubs, But and open adoptions, we do not do open adoptions. Everyone has to submit an application that is checked.
Yeah.
So, And we also make sure your landlord's okay with you having a dog. We need something. If you don't own your home, we need to know from your landlord that it's okay. And if so, what are the breed restrictions? What are the size and weight restrictions? Because we just can't entertain you looking at a bull mastiff if you can only have a poodle-sized dog. So,
right. Yeah. Or if you want a husky that requires a 8-foot fence or 6-foot fence, and you don't have a fence at all, like that's just
it's not fair to you, not fair to the pet.
Yeah, we don't want to put them in a bad situation, or you.
Any other rumors or stigmas out there?
Okay, no, I think so.
The next question is just, why is what you do important for our community and what keeps you passionate about it? Obviously, it's a lot of work and lack of volunteers.
It's the need. There's a huge need. And I don't know, when you watch TV, you mentioned the Sarah McLachlan song, ASPCA commercials come on. You see this little puppy face, and he's dirty, and he's living in squalor. And I mean, I don't have a lot of disposable income to just throw at that, but in my heart, I know that the best way I can change the life for dogs in general, maybe not for that one, but for the ones that we encounter, is to volunteer, to be there to make sure that they're fed and that they have a clean kennel and that they have the shot at a permanent home in a loving home, and that until that time, and I will sit and talk to them, and I will tell them, you just need to hang in there. You're the right person's coming. It might not be today, and it might not be tomorrow, but they will be along, and not to give up hope. And oh yeah, that's what keeps me passionate. How about you?
How about me? So I kind of spoke a little bit with the volunteer, how draining that can be at times. So for me, going and doing shifts still, as tired as I may be, or as not in the mood as I may be, when I get there and do it, that's how it started for me. And that's just how it keeps me going. That's like my fuel, like getting to spend that time with them and caring for them, not just trying to talk a volunteer at doing a shift.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not passionate about that. I'm not. But yeah, actually caring for them and being there for them is what keeps me going.
Well, and it is cathartic because you get as much as you give, or you give as much as you get, however you want to put that. But yeah, just knowing that you're giving back, and that this furry little thing is depending on you.
You're making a difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there are a lot of us that have jobs that may not be very exciting or whatever, but doing this, I can tick the box. Yes, I made a difference while I was here. This is what I did.
Right.
But people aren't going to care if I met payroll, or if I,
Well, somebody's going to care if you met payroll.
Well, they don't get their paycheck. But when I leave my office, all those file folders are going to go in the dumpster. Nobody's going to, there will be no listing.
Right.
But for these little guys, every day makes a difference for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's super rewarding for sure.
Absolutely. And we'd love to have you on our team.
Yeah.
And you too.
I know there's so many guests, and there's so many cool things on in the community. I need to get more involved.
Yeah.
But
And any amount of time. And your expertise. We have people that are excellent writers. So we use them for that. We have people that do fabulous Instagram videos. We use them. We can use any and all skills.
Yeah. This next question is one of my favorite, but it's just, what's a quote or a piece of wisdom that's helped guide you that you like to share with other people?
We have a good quote.
One. We're sharing this
You're sharing
one.
it? Okay.
Yes, because this is one of our favorites. Saving the life of one animal won't change the world, but the world will certainly change for that one animal. And that's a favorite of all of ours.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because we want to save them all.
And it ticks me off that I can't.
Right. But, just reading that is helpful,
Yeah, I like that. The next question is, what does real change mean to you? And what that means is just, what do you think would be a positive or a constructive and lighthearted change that you would like to see in our community?
You've got a good one for this with the engagement.
I do think we need community engagement. As far as we talked about earlier, people, if you see a problem, if you see cats, bringing them in for the spays and neuters, letting people, and we get a lot of this, my neighbor's dog, they're not being cared for, let the dog warden know, he gets a lot of calls. He's a very busy man, but we want to see life better for that pet. And if you're struggling to care for them, let us help you. We're there to help animals. We're not making a profit. We lose money on every animal that we adopt out. It's all about providing potential homes and for the welfare of these animals that have been let down by people. The animals have never been the problem. It's the people. People are the problem. People let them down. Yeah.
So I kind of hit a little bit on that before about you see a cat problem. Well, instead of calling the shelter, maybe you could try to do something also. The community helping, not just relying on the shelter, that kind of thing. Because that we got a lot going on.
I think just education too would be better because, you guys brought up from the beginning, I didn't know there was an option.
That's where we were going
to catch a cat and take it. Me personally, take it to get spayed and neutered and let it back. I didn't even to do that. So.
Okay, yeah. So we also there's several times where we have had school groups come in, and we do an educational
pitch or
Yeah.
class, whatever.
Kind of go through, tell them about us, tell them educational things like that. They also get to interact with the animal and do enrichment and things like that. So we do educational things like that. But yeah, that's and we are open to doing more of that too. I mean, I'm probably, no, there's a couple of us that are kind of flexible because I know like with the school group, obviously it was a weekday during the day, but my job can be flexible at times. So I made that work. So we would love to have more groups come and do educational type of things like that. That's definitely something we do and we would love to do more of.
And we've gone out to groups too. Like we've had 4-H clubs. And like you said, you had the scouts in, but we've gone out and reached out to them. And I'll tell you what, some of those kids they are so smart about things like that. And I learned some things from them too about animal care. I'm like, I didn't know you did that when you do that. So, 4-H is, I could go on about that. I think that's a great program. But yeah, it's just, it can't just be the shelters.
Yeah.
And, we do have some very civic-minded people that do work with us. And when, they have neighborhood situations, whether it be a cat or dog or whatever, and they'll intervene and we will assist them. We will help them rehome. We will, try to get the animals vetted and provide food and shelter. So, but yeah, it takes everybody. And I really hope that our city can come together to figure out something for this cat population. And for our dog warden, he puts in a lot of hours. I really wish there was some way we could ease the burden on him.
Yeah.
Because he's a one-man show and, you just can't expect somebody to be doing that 24/7. That's just very unrealistic. So, we try to do what we can to help him out whenever we can. And people need to be responsible. They need to realize that's our commitment. Their family, they're not property. And they need to be treated.
Do you guys participate in the Holodazzle parade? Do you dress dogs up and walk them?
That was done several years ago, but we have not been approached. I think Janet at D&G's does that sometimes, and she has the light up leashes. And she'll walk some of her dogs. She does boarding and training. She helps us with training quite often, and she's hosting that adoption event this coming Saturday.
I randomly just remembered that another way that people can help without, actually coming to the building. We do fundraisers through Buffalo Wild Wings. We have one coming up. So if you mention us, is it 15%?
15% they'll donate.
Of the bill will get donated to us. So things like that, because a lot of people do want to help, but they don't necessarily want to do a shift or whatever. So, but everybody eats.
Right. Yeah.
So the Buffalo Wild one, that one is on Monday, December 30th.
Okay.
And yeah, you just mention us and 15% of the bill goes to us. We do probably 2 or 3 of those a year at various restaurants in town. So
yes, Veracruz is a good supporter for us as well.
Yeah, that's cool that they do that. What's the best way for people to contact you if they want to learn more?
They can reach out to us via Facebook or on our website.
I think it's pawshumane.weebly.com.
Maybe would email that if they want to schedule an appointment to come by or to volunteer, I guess.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's probably the quickest.
Yeah, definitely don't just come and knock on the door. No one will answer there.
We do have business cards outside the door, though, just in case.
Yes, we do.
Someone's there, grab a business card. Do not leave any animals, please.
If you do want to leave cleaning supplies, though, you can.
Yes, anytime, day or night, just sit them out by the door. We'll bring them in.
Obviously, we, love financial donations as well. Just throw that in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and if you're going on Amazon to order something, you can always order something and have it sent to the shelter as well. We have a lot of people that do that on a regular basis. We have a wish list with Chewy. We also have a Kuranda, a site that's the raised dog beds. So there's a shelter giving program through Kuranda.
You can find all of that on our website and
the
our wish list on our website.
And the Kroger, sign up through Kroger, your Kroger app, and they will, if you assign a charity, then we're in there. You can give to us, and you can give to Clinton County Humane Society too, your choice. We're both on there to be recipients.
We're both in need. So
yes, we
for
are.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a good program too, Kroger's program. So
it's really nice.
The more people that sign up, then the more they give to the.
Oh, okay.
To the
nice.
Yeah. So.
Well, thanks for being on our podcast. Thanks for all you do in our community.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, that's it for our podcast today, folks. I hope you enjoyed our interview with Debbie Duquette and Sarah Armstrong at PAWS Humane Society. If you have more questions or ideas for them, please feel free to reach out to them directly. If they will talk to us dorks, they will certainly talk to you as well, because after all, we are a community of empowered individuals. If you want to get in touch with Real Change Wilmington, you can contact us on our website at realchangewilmington.com, visit our Facebook and Instagram pages, or grab a copy of our free local newspaper at Kroger, Sam's Meats, and Fiesta Veracruz. We also currently send our newspaper direct mail to over 2,500 Wilmington residents. So if you want to help us cover our printing costs and advertise your local business, event, or job posting, please email us at advertise@realchangewilmington.com. With that, I'm your host, Dustin Pierce. Keep it real, Wilmington.